Good morning everyone. Basa tayo ng Bible guys. Mark 7, 1-13 and Numbers 20, 21-22. Schedule natin ang basa is February 29 guys. Pero yung totoong araw ngayon is February 19 lang. At sobrang advance tayo. So basa. Layan natin ang konti. Jesus teaches about inner purity. The Pharisees and some of the teachers of the law who had come from Jerusalem gathered around Jesus and saw some of his disciples eating food with hands that were unclean, that is unwashed. Sa panahon natin ngayong COVID-19, hindi pwedeng hindi maghugas ng kamay. Kailangan lagi maghugas ng kamay. The Pharisees and all the Jews do not eat unless they give their hands a ceremonial washing, holding to the tradition of the elders. When they come from the marketplace, they do not eat unless they wash. Tama. And they observe many other traditions such as the washing of cups, pitchers, and kettles. So the Pharisees and teachers of the law asked Jesus, "Why don't your disciples live according to the tradition of the elders, instead of eating their food with unclean hands?" He replied, "Isaiah was right when he prophesied about you hypocrites, as it is written, 'These people honor me with their lips, but their hearts are far from me. They worship me in vain. Their teachings are but rules taught by men.'" Bakit kasi hindi kayo naghugas ng kamay mga disciples? Pero pinanigan ni Jesus yung mga disciples niya. You have let go of the commands of God, are holding on to the traditions of men. And he said to them, "You have a fine way of setting aside the commands of God in order to observe your own traditions. For Moses said, 'Honor your father and your mother,' and anyone who curses his father or mother must be put to death. But you say that if a man says to his father or mother, 'Whatever help you might otherwise have received from me is korban,' that is a gift devoted to God, then you no longer let him do anything for his father or mother. Thus you nullify the word of God by your tradition that you have handed down, and you do many things like that." Basahin natin yung maglalagpas lang tayo ng konti guys para maliwanagan natin yung sinasabi ni Jesus ha. Kasi parang inaano niya yung mga disciples niya na kahit hindi maghugas ng kamay. Pero sa panahon natin ngayon guys, kailangan natin maghugas ng kamay. Kasi nga yung virus, nakalagay, lalagpasan ko lang ng konti. Kasi dapat hanggang 13 lang tayo. Para maintindihan lang natin kasi naputol guys. Again, Jesus called the crowd to him and said, "Listen to me everyone and understand this. Nothing outside a man can make him unclean. So nothing outside a man can make him unclean by going into him. Rather that it is what comes out of a man that makes him unclean." Yup, naintindihan ko na to. Naalala niyo yung discharge guys. Doon sa nabasa natin sa Old Testament. Lahat ng discharge, yung galing natin sa katawan natin, is marumi. Kahit nga yung pagkikipagtalik, yung labas ng yung semen ng lalaki, marumi rin para kay Father God. So ito yung sinasabi niya na yung lahat daw ng papasok, nothing outside a man can make him unclean. by going into him. So yung lahat ng papasok sa katawan natin is hindi siya marumi. Pero ang marumi, rather it is what come out of a man that makes him unclean. Yung lalabas sa atin. So naintindihan ko na yung sinasabi ni Jesus. Pero guys, anuhin pa rin natin, ugaliin pa rin natin maghugas ng kamay. Lalo ngayong COVID-19. Sobra. Kailangan malinis tayo. Kahit sabihin tradition na yun. Ng mga ano ba sila? Tawag niya hypocrite. Ano ba yung mga yun? Teachers of the law. Yung mga Pharisees. And some of teachers of the law. Yung mga mambabatas noon, nung araw. Pero sa panahon natin ngayon guys, ugaliin natin. Kasi nga, kung wala lang virus, okay lang. Pero may virus nakakamatay. Ay, nawa pa rin. Tanggalin mo na yung COVID-19. Parang awa mo na. Dito na tayo sa numbers guys. So, gawin natin yung gawin natin description yan guys. Yung more, ay hindi. Bukas pa natin yun babasahin. Pero nabasa na rin natin yun sa Old Testament. Naalala niya. About sa discharge. Marumi talaga yun. Lahat ng lalabas sa katawan natin. Kahit nga yung spit yung dura. Kaya nga tinanong ko yung dati, paano yun nung namatay si Jesus? Diba dinuraan siya? So namatay siyang marumi kasi dapat pag naduraan ka, you have to wash and bath. Diba mayroong mga yung nagpako sa kanya sa krus. Kaya yun din tanong ko yun. Nandito na tayo sa numbers 20, 21, and 22. Tatlo. 20, 21, and 22. 29 ng February. Okay lang advance basa. Wag lang mali. Ayoko lang talaga mag-absent ng basa. Kahit hirap. Okay lang. The new generation, water from the rock. Okay. Sorry. In the first month, the whole Israelite community arrived at the desert of Sin. Ay, nakita ko na to sa mapa. Yung desert of Sin. Ayan. Diba nasa Mount Sinai sila tapos umakyat sila sa desert of Sin. Malapit na sila sa battle area. Ang hinahanap ko yung Negev Hebron lang ang nakita ko. Diba naglakbay sila through Negev. In the first month, the whole Israelite community arrived at the desert of Zin, and they stayed at Kadesh. There Miriam died and was buried. Yung ni Aaron. Kasama ni Aaron dati na nag-oppose kay Moses. Si Miriam yun, diba? There Miriam died and was buried. Now there was no water for the community, and the people gathered it in opposition to Moses and Aaron. They quarreled with Moses and said, "If only we had died when our brothers fell dead before the Lord. Why did you bring the Lord community into this desert, that we and our livestock should die here?" Okay, tama guys, tangay-tangay pa nila yung livestock nila. Everywhere na saan sila pupunta. Tangay-tangay na Israelite yung kanilang mga livestock. Parang ang hirap-hirap naman nun. Maglalakbay ka ng ang dami mong dala. Why did you bring us up out of Egypt to this terrible place? It has no grain or figs, grapes, vines, or pomegranates, and there is no water to drink. Desierto nga, guys. Desierto yung sin. Moses and Aaron went from the assembly to the entrance to the tent of meeting and fell face down, and the glory of the Lord appeared to them. The Lord said to Moses, "Take the staff, and you and your brother Aaron gather the assembly together, speak to the rock before their eyes, and it will pour out its water." Every time na niya yung staff ni Moses, di ba naalala niya dati, yung kanyang staff, inano din niya sa dagat, nahati yung dagat, nakatawid sila. Ngayon naman, gagamitin na naman yung staff sa "Take the staff, and you and your brother Aaron gather the assembly together, speak to the rock before their eyes, and it will pour out its water. You will bring water out of the rock for the community, so they and their livestock can drink." Pero sa isang bato mayroong tubig. Moses took the staff from the Lord's presence, just as he commanded him. He and Aaron gathered the assembly together in front of the rock. And Moses said to them, "Listen, you rebels, must we bring rebels talaga ang tawag niya, oh. Listen, you rebels, must we bring you water out of this rock?" Then Moses raised his arm, and he struck the rock twice with his staff. Water gushed out, and the community and their livestock drank. Grabing daming tubig, no? But the Lord said to Moses and Aaron, "Because you did not trust in me enough to honor me as holy, in the sight of the Israelites, you will not bring this community into the land I gave them." Nako po. So, hindi dadalhin yung mga tao doon. These were the waters of Meribah, where the Israelites quarreled with the Lord, and where he showed himself holy among them. Edom denies Israel passage. So, sa Edom, ito yung banda kay Esau yung Edom. Edom. Ayan, nandito nga siya sa kabila. Yung mapa, tinitingnan ko, guys. Edom denies Israel passage. Pero, dapat paanohin nila magkakamag-anak naman yung mga yan. Diba yung Edom is ano yan ni Esau? Si Esau at si Israel magkapatid yan. Pero sa panahon na kasi ni Moses patay na si Israel. Moses sent messengers from Kadesh to the king of Edom, saying, "This is what your brother Israel says." Okay, kapatid niya si Israel. "This is what your brother Israel says. You know about all the hardship that have come upon us. Our forefathers went down into Egypt, and we lived there many years. The Egyptians mistreated us and our fathers, but when we cried out to the Lord, he heard our cry and sent an angel and brought us out of Egypt." Then they went from the desert of Methanel, from Methanel to Nahaliel. Wait lang. Sorry guys, lumagpas ako. Nandito na tayo sa verse 16 pa lang ito Lumagpas ako. And brought us out of Egypt. Now we are here at Kadesh, a town on the edge of your territory. Paanuhin mo na, kamag-anak niyo yan. Pero bakit kasi sila walang permanent sila Israel? Parati silang naglalakbay. Ano ba kasi yung land na promise ni Father God? Nanggaling sila sa Mount Sinai, napunta sila sa Desert of Sin. Diba from Egypt sila. Tapos napunta sila sa Mount Sinai. Tapos ngayon naglalakbay na naman sila papuntang Desert of Sin. Tapos naman sila sa Edom. Wala silang permanent na place. Hindi, tinatanong ko tuloy kung ano ba yung land na pinapromise ni Father God sa kanila. Ba't panay pa rin ang lakbay nila? Now we are here. Kasi nakalagay dito guys. So, yung hindi niya dadalhin sa promised land. Verse ano yun? Sa verse 12. But the Lord said to Moses and Aaron, because you did not trust us in me enough to honor me as holy in the sight of the Israelites, you will not bring this community into the land I gave them. So, anong land yun? Ang layo na nang nilalakbay nila. Diba? Okay, continue. Now we are here at Kadesh, a town on the edge of your territory. Yun yung ano sa Edom guys. Yung sa banda kila Esau nga yan. Kapatid ni Israel yun. A town on the edge of your territory, please let us pass through your country. We will not go through any field or vineyard or drink water from any well. We will travel along the king's highway, and not turn to the right or to the left until we have passed through your territory. So ano lang sila, dadaan lang sila guys. But Edom answered, you may not pass through here. If you try, we will march out and attack you with the sword. Nako po. So, kita mo guys, walang kamag-anak. Grabe. You may not pass through her. If you try, we will march out and attack you with the sword. The Israelites replied, we will go along the main road, and if we or our livestock drink any of your water, we will pay for it. We only want to pass through on foot, nothing else. Again they answered, you may not pass through. So, kumbaga sa ano guys, yung Edom is may karapatan sa right of way. Pag ayaw palang magpapasok na pwede. So, ito yung sinasabi ko. Ano ba pagkakaiba ng God ng Edom tsaka God ng Israel? Magkakamag-anak yung mga yan. Then Edom came out against them with large and powerful army. Since Edom refused to let them go through their territory, Israel turned away from them. So, yun. The death of Aaron. Ay, namatay si Aaron. Sa verse 22, guys. Yan yung title kasi, The Death of Aaron. Naunang namatay sa kanya si Miriam. The whole Israelite community. Akala ko ba hindi mamamatay? So, you will not die. Yung laging doon sa offering. The whole Israelite community set out from Kadesh and came to Mount Hor. Saan naman yung Mount Hor? Kadesh. The whole Israelite community set out from Kadesh and came to Mount Hor. So, dito sila sa kabila dumaan. Hindi sila pumasa sa Edom eh. So, doon sila sa kabila sa Kadesh. Nakalagay Kadesh Verde. Doon ba sila? Hor ito eh. Kadesh. And came to Mount Hor. Wala, di ko makita guys. Mount Hor. Mount Nebo naman yung sa taas na yun. Wala. Hayaan mo na. Hindi ko makita. At Mount Hor, near the border of Edom. Border ng Edom pala. The Lord said to Moses and Aaron, Aaron will be gathered to his people. He will not enter the land I gave the Israelites, because both of you rebelled against my command at the waters of Meribah. Hala. Kaya pala, nag-ano ba si Aaron? Kasama ba si Aaron sa ano? Sa nag-rebel? Yung naalala niyo yung walang tubig, guys. Get Aaron and his son Eleazar and take them up Mount Hor. Remove Aaron's garments and put them on his son Eleazar, for Aaron will be gathered to his people. He will be died there. Ayan. So, mapapasa yung garments ni Aaron sa kanyang anak na si Eleazar. Eleazar. Moses did as the Lord commanded. They went up. So, yung alam mo nang mamamatay ka. Parang tinaningan na. Moses did as the Lord commanded. They went up Mount Hor in the sight of the whole community. Moses removed Aaron's garments and put them on his son Eleazar. And Aaron died there on top of the mountain. Kawawa naman si Aaron. Ang laking hirap nito eh. Then Moses and Eleazar came down from the mountain, and when the whole community learned that Aaron had died, the entire house of Israel mourned for him 30 days. Yeah, alam niyo bang mula umpisa ay kasama na siya ni Moses. Arad destroyed. When the Canaanites, king of Arad, when the Canaanites, king of Arad, who lived in the Negev, heard that Israel yung Negev na hindi ko rin makita yan. So, dalawa na hindi ko makita dito. Si Mount Hor, tsaka si Negev. Sa mapa ba, guys? Who lived in the Negev heard that Israel was coming along the road to Eterim. He attacked the Israelites and captured some of them. Naku po. Then Israel made this vow to the Lord, if you will deliver these people into our hands, we will totally destroy their cities. Oh. Ini-imagine ko, guys, pagka parang nagkaroon na talaga ng paano yung kukunti na lang ang tao ni Moses? Ni Father God pala. When the Canaanites, nakalagay ito, guys, Arad destroyed. When the Canaanite, king of Arad, who lived in the Negev, heard that Israel was coming along the road of Eterim, he attacked the Israelites and captured some of them. Then Israel made this vow to the Lord, if you will deliver these people into our hands, we will totally destroy their cities. The Lord listened to Israel's plea and gave the Canaanites over to them. They completely destroyed them and their towns. So the place was named Hormah. The bronze snake. They traveled from Mount Hor along the road to the Red Sea. Oh. Paano nangyari bumaba sila sa Red Sea? Nandun na sila sa Kadesh, diba? Dapat magpaakyat sila. Ay, Salt Sea naman yun. Red Sea. Ang Red Sea kasi papuntang guys doon sa ayun sa may Midian. Ayun, hindi ko maintindihan yung mapa. Bahala. They traveled from Mount Hor along the road to the Red Sea to go around Edom. Also, babalik pala. Babalik. So, Sinai ulit yun. To go around Edom, but the people grew impatient on the way. They spoke against God and against Moses and said, why have you brought us up out of Egypt to die in the desert. Oo nga naman. There is no bread, there is no water, and with it is this miserable food. Then the Lord sent venomous snakes among them. They bit the people, and many Israelites died. Naku po, nagpaano ng mga snakes, oh. Then the Lord sent venomous snakes. Tapos kinagat yung mga tao, yung mga Israelites. Kawawa naman. The people came to Moses and said, "We sinned when we spoke against the Lord and against you. Pray that the Lord will take the snakes away from us." So Moses prayed for the people. The Lord said to Moses, "Make a snake and put it up on a pole. Anyone who is bitten can look at it and live." Oh. So Moses made a bronze snake and put it up on a pole. Then when anyone was bitten by a snake and looked at the bronze snake, he lived. Eh, kung sa panahon namin ngayon yan, wala na ngayon eh. Wala nang bronze snake. Wala na tayong makikita. The journey to move. Move na naman tayo. Ayun. At least na sila. Nakalagpas na sila. The journey to move. The Israelites move on and camp on Oboth. Then they set out from Oboth and camped in Abiram, in the desert that faces Moab, toward the sunrise. From there, they move on and camp in the Zered Valley. Ang hirap niyan, guys, no? Buti kung bakante lahat, kaso may mga tao na kasi yan. So, parang dumadayo sila dun. They set out from there and camp alongside the end. Yan ang tinatanong ko, Father God. Ano? Yung mga nandoon ng naunang tao, sino ang Father God nila? Sino ang God nila? Bakit nakatutok lang itong Bible sa Israel? So, yung mga nauna doon, syempre may ano na rin yan, may sinasamba na rin Diyos yan. Sino po ang God nila? Bakit napaka ano lang na puro Israel lang talaga ang tinatakal dito sa story ng Bible? So, parang history lang tuloy ng Israel to, guys. Kasi may mga nauna ng tao dun sa mga pinupuntahan nila eh. Katulad dun sa Edom, diba? Hindi nga pumayag na dumaan sila. Tapos doon naman sa isang lugar, kinapture sila yung iba. Anong lugar ba yun? Ay, sorry. Sa Arad. Sa ano naman, doon naman sa Canaanite who live in Egypt. Sa Egypt naman, yung iba na captured, yung ibang Israelites. So, parang inaano ko, sino ang God ng mga tao nito? Sila yung King of Arad. Sino ang ano nila? Pati yung sa Egypt, guys, pati sila King Parao. Di ba asinsado rin sila nung nandoon si Joseph? Sino rin ang God ng Egypt? Yun. Tapos, inalis na nga yung mga Israelites doon sa Egypt. Dinala sila dito kung saan ba itong pangako ni Father God na land para sa kanila. The journey to Moab. The Israelites moved on and camped at Oboth. Ano na yung mata ko? Then they set out from Oboth and camped in Abraham in the desert that faces Moab toward the sunrise. From there they moved on and camped in the deserted valley. They set out from here and camped alongside the Arnon, which is in the desert extending into Amorite, Amorite territory. Then Arnon is the border of Moab. So yun. Oh, nakita ko na guys yung Arnon River. Oh. They set out from there and come along the Arnon, which is the desert extending into the Amorite territory. The Arnon is the border of Moab between Moab and the Amorites. That is why the book of the wars of the Lord says, kaya pala may battle. Ito, may mga pula guys. Ito yung battle area. Waheb in Sopa and the ravines the Arnon and the slopes of the ravines that lead to the site of Ar and lie along the border of Moab. Hindi ko mag-gets. Tanong natin sa mga expert ano ibig sabihin yan. Yung verse 14. That is why the book of the wars of the Lord says, book of the wars. Saan makakabili nito? Waheb and Sopa and the ravines, the Arnon and the slopes of the ravines that lead to the site of Ar and lie along the border of Moab. So, mayroon palang book of wars. Dati ang gusto kong hanapin, the law book of Moses. Ngayon naman, book of the wars. So, yung lubok ni Moses kahit hindi na natin basahin kasi mula Exodus hanggang ngayon puro batas itong binabasa natin. From there they continued on to bear the well where the Lord said to Moses, gather the people together and I will give them water. Then Israel sang this song, spring up, O well, sing about it, about the well that the princes dug, that the nobles of the people sang, the nobles with scepters and staffs. And then, malayo pa natin guys. Nasa chapter 21 pa lang tayo. Then they went from the desert to Matina, from Matina to Nahaliel, and from Nahaliel to Bamoth, and from Bamoth to the valley in Moab, where the top of Pisgah overlooks the wasteland, the feet of Sihon and Og. Ayoko na intindihin yung mga mapa dito. Basta yung nakikita ko mga pula-pula, yun yung battle area. The feet of Sihon and Og. Israel sent messenger to see Sihon King of the Amorites. Ayan o, may mga king na sila doon. So, sino rin ang father god nila? Kasi ang parang kinakampihan lang dito sa Bible talaga is puro Israelites. Pero marami rin namamatay ng mga Israelites sa lahat ng nagre-rebel. Let us pass through your country. Ayan na naman. Kung sa Edom, hindi sila pinapapasok. Ewan ko dito sa sa Sihon and Og. Israel sent messenger to Sihon, king of Amorites. Let us pass through your country. We will not turn aside into any field or vineyard. Parang pakiusap lang din nila sa Edom to eh. Or drink water from any well. We will travel along the king's highway until we have passed through your territory. But Sihon would not let Israel pass through his territory. He mustered his entire army and marched out into the desert against Israel. Naku po. When he reached Jahaz, he fought with Israel. Israel, however, put him to the sword and took over his land from the Arnon to the to the Jabbok, but only as far as the Ammonites, because their border was fortified. Israel captured all the cities of the Amorites, wow, and occupied them, including Heshbon and all its surrounding settlements. Heshbon was the city of Sihon King of the Amorites, who had fought against the former king of Moab and had taken from him all his land, as far as the Arnon. That is why the poets say, "Come to Heshbon, and let it be rebuilt. Let Sihon city be restored." Fire went out from Heshbon, ablished from the city of Sihon. It consumed Ar of Moab, the citizens of Arnon Heights. Woe to you, O Moab! You are destroyed, O people of Jebus. He has given up his sons as fugitives, and his daughters as captives unto Sihon king of the Amorites. But we have overthrown them. Heshbon is destroyed all the way to Dibon. We have demolished them as far as the Nopah, which extends to Medeba. So Israel settled in the land of the Amorites after Moses sent spies to Jazer. The Israelites captured the surrounding settlements and drove out the Amorites who were there. Then they returned and went up along the road toward Bashan, and Og king of Bashan and his whole army marched out to meet them in the battle at Idrei. Ay, nako. Sorry. Verse 34. The Lord said to Moses, "Do not be afraid of him. The Lord said to Moses, "Do not be afraid of him, for I have handed him over to you. With his whole army and his land, do to him what you did to Sihon king of the Amorites, who reigned in Heshbon." So they struck him down together with his sons and his whole army, leaving them to survivors, and they took possession of his land. Naku, ang dami na nasakop. So, kumbaga sa yung Israelite, yung mga to, nalupig lang nila yung mga nauna na doon nakatira. So, sila na ngayon ang nag-take over sa land na yun. Nakalagay kasi sa 34 guys, so, the Lord said to Moses, "Do not be afraid of him, for I have handed him over to you. With his whole army and his land, do to him what you did to Sihon king of the Amorites, who reigned in Heshbon." So they struck him down together with his sons and his whole army, leaving them no survivors, and took possessions of his land. Pero mo guys, lahat napatay nila. Walang nakasurvive eh. Leaving them no survivors. Kawawa naman. Chapter 22 na tayo guys. The story of Balaam. Balak summons Balaam. Yun yung title. Chapter 22. Then the Israelites traveled to the plains of Moab and camped along the Jordan. Ang hindi lang nila nakaya yung Edom. Siyempre kapatid nila si Esau eh. Hindi nila nakaya yung Edom. Hindi sila pinapasok. Ito, hindi nga sila pinapasok, pero inano naman nila. Naluping naman nila. Then the Israelites traveled to the plains of Moab and camped along the Jordan across from Jericho. Now Balak, son of Zippor, saw all Israel had done to the Amorites, and Moab was terrified. Because there were so many people, Indeed, Moab was filled with dead because of the Israelites. The Moabites said to the elders of Midian, oh, sasabi na sa'yo, pababa sila eh. This horde is going to lick up everything around us, as an ox licks up the grass of the field. So Balak, son of Zippor, who was king of Moab that time, sent messenger to summon Balaam, son of Beor, who was at Petor near the river in his native land. Balak said, nung araw guys, puro king ang namamono, no? King of Moab, king of, ano? King of Ered. Puro sila king. Walang president. Puro king. Puro hari. Sorry. Yung dyan ko. That time sent messenger to summon Balaam, who was at Petor near the river in his native land. Balak said, a people has come out of Egypt, they cover the face of the land, and have settled next to me. Now come and put a curse on these people, because they are too powerful for me. Perhaps then I will be able to defeat them and drive them out of the country, for I know that those you bless are blessed, and those you are cursed. The elders of Moab and Midian left, taking with them the fee for divination. When they came to Balaam, they told him what Balak had said. As men denied her, Balaam said to them, and I will bring you back the answer the Lord gives me. So the Moabites princes stayed with him. God came to Balaam and asked, who are these men with you? Balaam said to God, Balak, son of Zippor, king of Moab, sent me this message. A people that has come out of Egypt covers the face. Hindi niya sinabing Israel. Yung nag-come out daw sa Egypt. Covers the face of the land now. Now come and put curse on them for me, perhaps. Then I will be able to fight them and drive them away. But God said to Balaam, do not go with them. You must not put a curse on those people, because they are blessed. So kakampi si Balaam sa mga Israel. Kasi kinausap si Balaam ni Father God. The next morning, Balaam got up and said to Balak's prince, go back to your own country. The Lord has refused to let me go with you. So the Moabite princes returned to Balak and said, Balaam refused to come with us. Then Balak said other princes more numerous and more distinguished than the first. They came to Balaam and said, this is what Balak, son of Zippor, says. Do not let anything keep you from coming to me, because I will reward you handsomely and do whatever you say. Come and put the curse on these people for me. But Balaam answered them, even if Balak gave me his palace filled with silver and gold, I could not do anything great or small to go beyond the command of the Lord my God. So si Balaam, si Father God din ang ano niya, ang God niya. Now stay here tonight as the other did, and I will find out what else the Lord will tell me. That night God came to Balaam and said, since these men have come to summon you, go with them, but do only what I tell you. Oh. Umaatake na yung ating ano, yung ating hindrances. Ang haba naman kasi, Father God. 3 chapter. Balaam's donkey. Balaam got up in the morning, saddled his donkey, and went with the princes of Moab. But God was very angry with Balaam's donkey. Balaam got up in the morning. Wait lang guys. Balaam got up sa verse 21 guys ng chapter 22 Numbers. Balaam got up in the morning, saddled his donkey, and went in with the prince of Moab. But God was very angry when he went. Eh, di ba sabi nga, go with him, but do only what I tell you. Ang gulo. Balaam got up in the morning, saddled his donkey, and went with the princes of Moab. But God was very angry when he went, and the angel of the Lord stood in the road to oppose him. Balaam was riding on his donkey, and his 2 servants were with him. When the donkey saw the angel of the Lord standing in the road with a drawn sword in his hand, she turned off the road into a field. Balaam beat her to get her back on the road. Then the angel of the Lord stood in a narrow path between 2 vineyards with walls on both sides. When the donkey saw the angel of the Lord, she pressed close to the wall, crushing Balaam's foot against it, so he beat her again. Then the angel of the Lord moved on ahead and stood in a narrow place where there was no room to turn either to the right or to the left. When the donkey saw the angel of the Lord, she lay down under Balaam, and he was angry, and beat her with his staff. Then the Lord opened the donkey's mouth, and she said to Balaam, "What have I done to you to make you beat me these 3 times?" Balaam answered the donkey, "You have made a fool of me. If I had a sword in my hand, I would kill you right now." The donkey said to Balaam, "Am I not your own donkey, which you have always ridden to this day?" Pati donkey nagsasalita. How this day I have been in the habit of doing this to you? No, he said. Then the Lord opened Balaam's eyes, and he saw the angel of the Lord standing in the road with his sword drawn. So he bowed low and fell face down. The angel of the Lord asked him, "Why have you beaten your donkey these 3 times? I have come here to oppose you because your path is a reckless one before me. The donkey saw me and turned away from me these 3 times. If she had not turned away, I would certainly have killed you by now, but I would have spared her." Balaam said to the angel of the Lord, "I have sinned. I did not realize you were standing in the road to oppose me. Now, if you are displeased, I will go back." The angel of the Lord said to Balaam, "Go with the men, but speak only what I tell you." So Balaam went with the princes of Balak. Kaya nga sinabi na nga niya dito sa verse 20, diba? When Balak heard that Balaam was coming, he went out to meet him at the Moabite town on the Arnon border at the edge of his territory. Balak said to Balaam, "Did I not send you an urgent summons? Why didn't you come to me? Am I really not able to reward you?" "Well, I have come to you now," Balaam replied. "But can I say just anything? I must speak only what God puts in my mouth." Then Balaam went with Balak to Kiryat Hosoth. Ang hirap ng mga place. Bigkasin. Balak sacrificed cattle and sheep and gave some to Balaam and the princes who were with him. The next morning, Balak took Balaam up to Bamoth Baal, and from there he saw part of the people. So, yan na guys. Hanggang dyan na lang. Bye everyone. God bless.